The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
This is Denise Snowstrom, CEO and founder of Diversified Financial Solutions. Now more than ever, investment advice is needed. Not just where best to invest your money, but why. Are you investing for your future retirement? Are you retired and looking to maximize your income? Are you maximizing your income and concerned with leaving money for your loved ones? Are you investing for your retirement at the same time saving for your children's education and at the same time saving to buy another home? Are the markets in line with your goals? Are your goals ever changing? Please contact me at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691. Or visit us at diversifiedfinancial.biz. For over 25 years, I have been helping individuals, families, and business owners navigate through all market conditions with only one goal in mind, my clients. Visit me at diversifiedfinancial.biz or call Denise Snowstrom, founder of Diversified Financial Solutions, at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691 for a conversation about my most important client, you. Hello, everyone. We made it to Friday. Thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me. I'm glad you're here. You are listening to The Financial Chick Show, and I am The Financial Chick. My name is Denise Snowstrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions. So like our pages to get updates and see what is happening. So today, I am excited to have a guest with me, and boy, do we need to hear what she has to say. I want to welcome Mary Calamia. I love that name, by the way. Licensed clinical social worker to the show today.
Hi, thank you. Thank you.
So how are you doing today, Mary?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm hanging tight.
That's it.
It's Friday. How bad could it be? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're ready to start the weekend.
Yeah, totally.
But so why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do? And
okay, so I'm as you said, I'm a clinical social worker, and I guess a lot of people don't know what social workers are. Therapists. We do therapy, psychotherapy. I work with children, adolescents, adults, and try to help people, get through rough times. Mental conditions, anxiety, depression, and, mostly now, entirely now telehealth, working from home. So I'm seeing people, I'm licensed in New York, I'm licensed in Florida.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm seeing people all over the place now.
That's great.
Yeah, New York to Miami, Buffalo to Miami, I guess.
That's great.
And all points in between.
Well, one place is good now. I mean, I like New York still, but that's another show, right? We can go there another
the
time.
Escape from New York, exactly.
So we've known each other from a distance, for several years. I knew what you did for a living. But I really got a feel for what you do and how you help people based on the articles that you had written in the Brookhaven Messenger. So one of the articles was about dealing with anger, which we can kind of talk a little bit about, which is prevalent today. And the other one had a great title, How Are the Children Not Well?
Yeah.
And, so today let's try to figure out what the heck's happening in this world and some ways to deal with some of these issues that everybody's going through
Sure.
right now.
So one of the things and where I got the How Are the Children from is the late, great Joe Rella, who is a superintendent of I almost said Connecticut, Comstock School District.
I was going to say, I knew the name.
Yeah, he was beloved here on Long Island, and he used to open all of his speeches when we were talking about Common Core back in the day, with the Maasai warriors would greet each other by asking, "How are the children?" And the children are well, would be the traditional response, because the belief was that you could rate the quality of a society by the condition of its young people. And right now, that would get like, I don't know, what a Morning Star, what's like a triple... What's the worst Morning Star rating you can get in finance? Okay. Yeah. -1, because our kids are just not doing well. And a lot has to do with what's happened in the last 2 years. But the young people are really suffering right now. So that was the impetus to write that article, and to just tell people also that while the kids aren't doing well, the adults aren't doing well either.
For sure.
We're dealing with coming out of 2 years of lockdown and people having lost their businesses, lost their jobs, having to reinvent their careers and into double-digit inflation, prices off. You have to ask yourself, I don't know, can I afford the gas to get there? And so the children are suffering, the adults are suffering. And we are also dealing with a mental health crisis in that people like me are so overwhelmed and so overburdened. There is no place for anybody to go. There are a psychiatrists, a wait list, 5 months for a psychiatrist.
And that's a sad thing because when people need help, they need it right away. You can't wait and say, well, we'll figure it out in a couple of months, right? So
exactly.
That's a big challenge for you guys and for the individuals needing that
exactly. I just heard one of the best psychiatrists I know is asking $500 an hour now.
Wow.
Everybody has health insurance, but the doctors don't even want to take it.
It's sad.
So we're up against a lot of problems, and this is all related to what's gone on in the last 2 years and what we as people have allowed to happen in our world.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like re-entering the society again. I mean, we knew the rules. The rules changed pretty much weekly, during the COVID pandemic. And now we're trying to figure it all out. And I mean, I see it too, with my daughter and her friends. I mean, when they come to the house, they're talking and they're sad. And I'm like, you're 15. Why would you be sad? And I'm not making light of it, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And why is this happening? And it's just the noise is so loud, I guess. So how do you tell people or how do you deal with that noise? Or what do you do to make that better? And I know that's a big question.
Well, we have to put a lot of stuff on the table, especially with the kids. I think with kids, we make the mistake of, how's school? How's school? Where do you want to go to college? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? And we don't ask them what do you think about the situation in the Ukraine? What do you think about COVID? What do you think about, dad lost his job? How is that affecting you? What do you think about mom's working from home now? How is that affecting you? We don't ask them those questions.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Because, again, not that we want to have a big discussion about all of these things, but knowing what their perception is, because it could be very, very different from the adults. Of course, we're going to see things very, very differently than they would, and trying to relate it and allay their concerns because the world's ending. We've heard all these things.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that was happening during COVID.
Yeah.
And that's a big statement that, as an adult, you might be able to deal with it a little bit more, but as a child, that could be really real.
Yeah. And that actually even began before COVID. Somewhere I lost track of how many years into the 10-year doomsday clock we're into, right? When they 10 years, global warming's going to kill us all. Climate change is going to kill us all.
Right.
And it's all well and good when a politician wants to go out and say something like that and the news wants to present it. They forget that little pitchers have big ears, and children hear that, and children are literal thinkers. And children started to think, 10 years, we're all going to be dead. I would have kids come into my office. You have your water bottle there. I threw out a water bottle once in front of a kid, and the kid went like bonkers. You're going to kill us all. You're going to kill us all. You threw out a plastic bottle. And I'm like, oh my God, they had it in their heads already. 10 years and we're all going to die. And that was probably a year or two before lockdown.
Wow.
Now give them a global pandemic and give us a disease that, you can kill grandma, you're going to kill somebody if you get sick and you bring it to them. And again, children are literal thinkers. They are not critical thinkers.
That's true.
So everything you tell them, we got 10 years and now 2 years into this, we've got this. Now it's 2 years later. We're probably about 4 years into that doomsday clock. And they think, what's the point? Why should I bother doing anything? Because we're all going to die anyway.
Let me tell you something. And that's a big thing with the kids, just talking. And I do a lot of work up at the school district and stuff like that. And nothing matters. Mm-hmm. Well, you have to do your homework. Nah, it's all right. They don't care. Or like you have to really do well in that test. Nah, it's not that important. Everything's important, and that's really a big concern. And we have to let them know that, life is not ending as we know it. And it's good to have goals and think about a future. You're still allowed to do that. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I'll just say to them, I'll say, so what if they're wrong? What if we're not all going to be dead in 10 years? What if it's wrong? You know, like maybe you just want to be prepared for that, but it's very hard to get it through to them because they have it reinforced constantly in their studies. They have it reinforced in the schools and on the media. The media has them, just glued to these fear factor stories.
Well, the one problem, too, is that it's a 24/7 news cycle, so they have to fill it. And, of course, sensationalism sells. The people that, build a home for a habitat or whatever, you miss if you blink your eyes, you miss that story, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little crazy. So this is your financial chick, Denise Snowstrom, the company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for financial solutions and sometimes mental solutions, right? health solutions when you feel like there's none. So feel free to contact me at 631-758-8691. We're closing in on the commercial break, so stay tuned. But we have a lot more to talk about. We're going to talk about anger and really just how to navigate this new, and I hate saying that, the new normal, but I don't even know what's normal.
There is no normal.
Anyway, it's normal to tune in to the Financial Chick Show. So I thank you, but stay tuned after the commercial for more. This is Denise Snowstrom, the Financial Chick. My company's in Medford, and you could reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all of those changes. So I'm thrilled to be here today with Mary Calamia. She's a licensed clinical social worker, and today we are addressing the issues surrounding mental health, which can affect every aspect of your life, including your wealth, right?
100%.
So it's definitely something that, we need to be cognizant of and try to keep ourselves in top-notch condition. So how do we do that, Mary?
Yeah, and, you talk about like how the mental health can affect your wealth. I have seen people, especially we talked about, anger. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of rampant aggression out there right now. And again, it's that pressure cooker of being cooped up for 2 solid years and coming out. It's like coming out into, like you say, the new normal. It's like the world doesn't look like it did in March 2020.
Right.
And we're 2 years hence. I've seen people lose their jobs over their rage, over their behavior. And we have a lot of people, it's a real phenomenon now, people being called back to work who don't want to go back. They don't want to go back. They got comfortable working out of their pajamas and only dressing from the waist up, right. Not wanting to go back, and employers and employees coming to blows over it.
I could see that. And there's no conformity. It's not like, okay, we're all going to go back. All right, all the healthcare companies are going to go back. It's really piecemeal. So it's kind of like, we always have that little like, oh, well, they get to stay home, as much as we're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
You have that whole thing. So it becomes very complicated.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And the reward for staying home, $4.50 a gallon gas, and
that's more the reason why, not because you just want to be home, but you don't want to pay the gas,
right? Exactly.
To do that commute.
Exactly.
Everybody's on the road now, so there's all these things that we never really thought about before because we didn't have to.
Yeah, and people are they're flipping out. They're acting, you put people in a pressure cooker, you coop them up, and basically we were living our lives on electronic devices. We were entertaining ourselves with social media, Netflix, all of those things. People develop a certain personality when they're not face to face.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I notice it a lot with a lot of my kids. A lot of them are coming to me now. I've diagnosed more social phobia in the last 2 years. They're afraid of other people. They're afraid. Social phobia, it's like you're afraid you're going to embarrass yourself. You're afraid you're going to be judged. You're afraid that people are going to think harshly about you. Wow. And so you're afraid because all they're doing is communicating on devices. They're words on a screen. They're not people anymore. So we did this for the last 2 years. We did this with adults and kids. Now you have to deal with people in the real world again. And people become keyboard warriors on social media.
Yeah, for sure.
And now it's crossing into the real world.
Yeah. Well, you get desensitized because you forget that the person that you're next to, could be a sister, an aunt, a mother, a father, a brother, anything. But they're just a name on a computer. or a phone.
Yeah.
And that's, what have we done to ourselves? It really is quite frightening.
I tell people, and I work with this a lot, because people get into interactions with other people and things go badly. We ended up having a fight. I wasn't planning on having a fight. I lost my job. I got into an accident and the guy punched me out, whatever, because they're not asking themselves before they get into the interaction, what is my end goal? What do I want? Just like when you're investing with people, what are you looking to create wealth? Are you looking to create whatever? I don't know.
Absolutely.
You know that, right?
Retirement goal, education,
right.
and what's the time frame?
Right, exactly. Well, it's the same thing when you walk into a supermarket and you're talking to the cashier. You have a goal, right? The goal is that you're going to get your groceries paid for and maybe pay 5 cents for a bag and go home, right? And you don't expect that you're going to go up to the cashier and she's going to ask you, to I don't know, join her in a bank robbery, right? Right? You have an end goal, right? So it should be the same thing when you have a discussion with your husband, your children, your wife, your grandmother, whoever. What are you trying to get out of this? Because most of the time when you have that conversation go wrong, it's because everything you did and you said in that interaction led to where it went wrong. Mm-hmm. And it starts with the mindset. If you're going to your boss and you're going to ask for a raise, do you go in saying in your head, I'm a valued employee, my productivity is X, Y, and Z, I've been here for X number of years, or do you go in there thinking, oh, that son of a bitch just bought a new Mercedes? Because it's going to affect how you interact. It's going to affect your body language. It's going to affect your tone, the words you choose, and the language and the behaviors and everything that you engage in, right? So we have to get our heads on straight. We have to think about, what do I want from this? And then what do I need to say and do to get what I want out of the interaction?
Right.
People aren't doing that anymore. They're just going in all emotion, guns blazing.
That's what we were talking before. Knee jerk. Just take a step, think about it. And even, I'm taking your job, but I feel the noise is so loud. Take some time to just be quiet.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on, and you're getting upset about the Ukraine war, and people, it's horrible. You've got that, and then you've got, the shootings in Manhattan. We want to go there, but there's just so much stuff, and you need to just take a step away because you internalize it, even though it's not really affecting you per se, right? Right here, right close to you. But it affects us all in a certain extent, and now you're taking it out on other people.
Yeah.
And we're not getting anywhere fast, right? It's really just becoming worse.
And you talk about noise, and I use that word a lot when I talk to people, and shutting out the noise. For me personally, I don't watch the news. I don't watch any TV that was made in the last 10 years. I sit and watch a lot of old television shows, and I'm at peace. I don't watch anything with commercials.
That's good, because I was going to say, I go to game shows. But then they have all these commercials with the COVID and this, and we got it at this point. We understand all the different things. It's been 2 years.
Just stay away from all of it.
Yeah.
Because I get so much of it, especially because I work with so many clients and people bring me so much negative energy that I can't.
You got to shake
I can't
it off.
absorb any more of it from the media.
Yeah.
People who are most successful right now with that are people who do device-free Sundays, or they just shut down all of the media.
And that's a big thing that if we can get out to everybody that's listening, just take a step away.
Yeah.
People say, during the day you're not answering your cell phone. And I'm like, I won't. Because I'm working, and that could be a big distraction. So if you want to call me, you reach me on the office number, because I'm working. I'm in a work head. That's the zone I'm in at that point.
Great. That's great that you do that. Yeah.
Well, it's important.
I have one of the biggest problems I have with clients sometimes is they say, well, they didn't show up for their appointment. Well, I texted you. It's a landline. We still have those.
Right, not going to come through.
Because I don't want to be texting and emailing and cell phone, landline. It's too much.
And that's another source of stress, because now you've got to look at all these different things, and why did I miss that call? But I didn't know if you called or you texted. You got to filter it down. So our world is complicated. And I guess if we can all just make it a little less complicated, and it's taking that time and being quiet and just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And we don't have the time to do that, but we got to make the time, I think,
Absolutely.
right? When you say that.
One of the greatest tools that you could ever use is meditation.
And I was going to say that.
Yeah.
That's something I'm meditating so much right now.
Oh, good.
And people think it's do. It's really not. It's just, again, getting to that quiet place. I have a great, it's called Insight Timer. It's a great app. It's free. Which, today with all the cost of everything, that's a cool thing. And as being a financial advisor, it's fiscally conservative. But, it's fabulous. You can go to bed to it, wake up in the morning, and just kind of end your day good and make your day start really nicely.
It's just time that you take out for you and to be quiet. And,
oh, my God,
and it's okay if your mind wanders while you're meditating. Oh, people say, I can't clear my mind. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Thoughts come in, you say, hey, thanks for dropping by, and hit the road and go back to focusing on your breathing.
And just that too, that, it's, you learn that as well. It's over time. But before we run out, because we're running out of time already, it was so great to have you today.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad that you were here. If people would like to reach out to you, how can they do that?
My office, 631-675-0080.
Okay.
It's a landline.
I think
And leave a message and I'll get back to you.
All right. And you can always go to financialchickshow.com if you need to. We can always connect you with Mary Calamia. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for tuning in today. I hope this show let you know that you're not alone. And if you need to talk to someone, you really should. Don't feel bad about it. It's not a bad thing. Life is not easy, but having a great support system in place can certainly make the ride much easier. Remember, let's try to do better and be better. Enjoy the weekend. See you next Friday.
Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Blackridge Asset Management and Diversified Financial Solutions are separate and independent entities from Peak Brokerage Services.